What is up guys, and welcome back to another TBC Classic gold farming video. So it's been a hot minute since I shared some gold farms with you guys, and I think it's about that time again where I show you guys at least some of the farms that I'm currently doing. So today we're taking a look at one of the TBC gold farms that I have been doing a lot recently, and it's slowly become one of my favorite gold farms to do at any time of the day. So the location might be familiar to some of you guys, as we are once again up at the Twilight Ridge, which you will find all the way northwest in the Grand, and you do need flying to get here. You don't need epic flying, just regular flying, or basically a way to get yourself up in the air. So at this location, what I've previously done is use Herbalism and mining to farm gold, but over time I started noticing more and more competition, to the point where it was really only worth doing in the middle of the night, and personally I don't feel like messing up my sleep schedule just to farm enough gold to make my time worth it, so I started looking for other options. And with the amount of bots in TBC Classic right now, that is actually more difficult than you might think. Bots have started becoming more and more shameless, and they've started to move out of the slave pens and do open world farming, both killing mobs in the open world and farming herbalism and mining as well. So just in general, it's getting more and more difficult to find good farms that aren't either over-farmed or infested by bots. But I think I found one. Like I said, I've been using this one a little bit myself lately, and I'm really enjoying it, so let's talk a little bit about exactly how this farm works. Basically, you're farming on the outer edge of the Twilight Ridge, on the platform outside the ridge itself, and over here you have two main things you're looking for: snakes and mana thistles. I guess before I keep talking I should say that you will want both skinning and herbalism, both at max skill, so keep that in mind too. Once again, if you have herbalism and mining, you can farm at the same location, and switch out the killing of snakes to farming ores instead, so the location itself has multiple uses. But back to the point, this location has 10 different snake spawns, so if you're here by yourself, you should pretty much always have a snake or two available, which means there will always be, or there will be very little downtime for the farm itself. This obviously depends on the competition, which again depends on your server and which time of the day you're farming here, and also just a little bit RNG, but you get the point. If you're farming by yourself, there should be no downtime, and if there's competition, there will be a bit more downtime. Now, every 15 to 20 minutes you also have two different mana thistle spawn locations, which I would recommend you always keep an eye out for, which is why you will see that my minimap is in the middle of the screen, so I can always keep an eye out for a potential mana thistle. These mana thistles always spawn in the same location, so once you've identified their spawning location you can easily camp it, and based on them having a 15 to 20 minute respawn timer, you can also sort of time your snake farming around those respawns. Grabbing those mana thistles can significantly increase the value of the farm, as a mana thistle is usually worth between 10 and 15 gold, and if you can get one or two mana thistles per harvest, meaning if you're lucky, grabbing one mana thistle spawn will give you 30 gold. I would also recommend grabbing any other flower that you see around here, as there are two Dreaming Glory spawns as well, and while the Dreaming Glories might not be worth the most amount of gold in itself, it adds up over time, plus you also have the chance of getting Mote of Life as well as Fell Lotus. I would also recommend you guys check out the TBC Goldmaking guide by Studen if you haven't already. It is a complete gold making guide covering multiple different gold farms in TBC Classic in a PDF style document that will give you a lot of different possible gold farms to try out. The link to that gold making guide is in the description of this video, and by using my code at checkout you can save yourself 50%. Overall, you can see that so far I've made a little bit over 300 gold per hour, or gold, and I would say about 100 of those is coming from herbalism, and 200 of those is coming from skinning. And I've obviously been focusing on skinning, but I've also kept my eye out for any herbalism spawn, and I've grabbed pretty much every available flower in the 1 hour that I've been farming here for this video. I also managed to stop recording, and literally 5 seconds after I stopped recording, a mana thistle spawned, which I started recording again to just show you guys, which would have increased my gold per hour from this session by 30, since I got 2 mana thistles from that one spawn. Now the reason why I personally love this farm is the fact that it's not really being farmed a lot. I've been here in the middle of the day, in the middle of the night, at peak times and pretty much all times of the day, and there's rarely a lot of competition for these snakes. There's always competition for the mana thistles though, but if you're fast enough you will be able to grab those as well. But for the snakes it's pretty much a free farm, at least it's been so for me this far, and I'm absolutely loving it. 200 gold per hour from skinning might not be the best amount, but if I didn't go for the flowers and only focus on blasting the snakes, I think I would be able to make above 250 gold per hour from the snakes themselves, which I think is fairly decent. I guess I should say that the item you're looking for from these snakes is the Cobra scales, which are selling for anywhere between 15 and 20 gold, depending on your server, with the regional average being 16 gold per Cobra scale. These are RNG drops when skinning these types of Cobra snakes, and according to Wowhead they have a 10% drop chance, meaning that the farm itself is pretty RNG, which also means that if you go here and test it out right now, you could have terrible luck and make 50 gold per hour, or you could have insane luck and make 600 gold per hour. So based on that, if you are going to try out this farm, you should probably test it for more than an hour, and make sure you download Loot Appraiser as well, which is the add-on you can see in the top left corner that I'm personally using to calculate the gold that I'm getting while farming. It is a really handy add-on, and it pulls values from your Trade Skill Master add-on, which it basically means that the prices will always be up to date. One more thing I should say about why I specifically love this farm is once again the Cobra scales. These Cobra scales can only be skinned from 3 different unique mobs in the Burning Crusade, so you either have to farm them up here, or you have to farm them on the outer edges of Shadowmoon Valley, where you will find shadow serpents that you can farm and skin, just like these ones. But personally I prefer this location because of the 2 mana thistle locations that can spawn here as well, and because you're always staying on this part of the Twilight Ridge, you are pretty much always in range of the mana thistles, so as long as you keep your eyes out on the map, you will easily be able to grab a couple of them while farming those snakes, and it's much better than flying around looking for them, considering they only spawn in certain locations. So if you fly and look for them, there's always a chance that someone just grabbed them before you. So when farming mana thistles in general, you probably want to camp the location. Also, a lot of the mana thistle locations are being camped, so flying around looking for them doesn't really work right now. And this is why I love this gold farm, because it combines a valuable item like mana thistle, which you want to camp anyway, with another valuable item to farm in the downtime, while waiting for the mana thistles to respawn. It is really the best of both worlds. So there it is guys, probably my first actual gold farming video since the launch of TBC Classic that actually involves skinning, considering the only gold farming video that I have on skinning for TBC Classic was one that I made during the TBC beta, but I thought it was about time to show skinning some love as well, and personally I've loved farming mana thistles ever since the launch of TBC, so having the option of both farming, skinning and farming mana thistles just makes this farm incredibly enjoyable for me personally, and having the combination of skinning plus herbalism is also a lot more fun than herbalism and mining, since you are actually being active and killing mobs in order to farm skinning. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, and if nothing else I hope it inspired you to go out and farm some gold, or do whatever you enjoy doing in the game. If you did enjoy the video, make sure you chuck a like on it, and let me know in the comments down below which professions you are using to make gold in TBC. And with that being said, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon.